Hello, my name is Stetson Roberts and I'm going to be showing you how to play the board game Quelf. Alright, before going into rules about the game, I would like to kind of just go over what it is. So, each person is a player on their own team. Sometimes there can be teams, but I'll go into that later. So, when you choose a character, each one has their own kind of design. This one is called the Dude, and each character has their own background story, which I'm going to let you guys read into later if you decide to buy the game. But you kind of choose your character based off their personality if it represents you. There are 8 characters, so up to 8 people can play. And so the goal of this game is to make it from the starting point and going across the game board until you get to the finish. And once you do, you are declared the winner. It's pretty simple, and when you land on each area of the game board, there's a different color that you're going to have to draw a card to do. Each one has their own rules, but I'll go into that to the rule book. It's really fun game to do because a lot of the cards that you have are silly questions, acting out things, being a mime, rules that you wouldn't ever really expect to be in a board game. That is why it has become one of my personal and my family's personal favorite board games to play. Alright, to go into the rules. First, you're going to get your deck set up like I have here. You're going to shuffle them around and set them in places that are easy to reach. And then you're going to be choosing a piece, like one of the characters here. Like I said, I always choose the Dude. Basically, you kind of just go off their personalities, or if you like what they look like, it doesn't really matter. And then after that, everyone goes around and rolls the dice, and then whoever gets the highest number starts, and then it goes down in descending order. If for some reason someone gets a 4 and someone else gets a 4, then they have to either roll again to see who gets the highest or lowest, or you can just go with whoever letter in their name starts first. So after that, we're going to start playing, which, let's say I was going, roll the dice 3, and you get to move up 3. And as you see here, there are different colors for each space, and each color corresponds with a colored card, which this one was blue. So blue is called the rules card. And with each card, there will be a penalty, which is in the top right corner here, which this one would be 2. So if I didn't do this one or I did it wrong, I would have to go back 2. And then there's an action rule as well in the Quelf effect box that's at the bottom, which will give a description on if there's any extra benefits, if you can do something else to move more spaces, have to go back, but I'll go into more about this here in a bit. So the rules card is kind of just how it sounds. It gives you a rule to follow. And for this card, it says, while it is your turn, whenever another player speaks to you, you must play peekaboo with them. So if someone was talking to me, I would like cover my face and be like, peekaboo, peekaboo, the entire time they are playing the game. And then the action rule of this is the action rule affects only the player who drew it. If you draw or receive another action rule, discard this rule and play the new rule and place the new rule in play. So you always got to put this in front of you just so you kind of remember where it is. So the next card that I'm going to go over is the green card, which is QUIZZLE, which is a traditional trivia category. And these are kind of just funny, out of the blue, random trivia questions that you wouldn't really think of, or they could be really easy to know. And so this one is, which 2 of the following foods are toxic to parrots? A, chocolate, B, carrots, C, avocados, D, strawberries, E, pickles. And so when you land on a green space, the person to your left will always be the one that picks it up and reads the question and the answers to you. And then once you choose, the person can flip it around and it'll give the answers here in a little smaller writing, which is the answer was both A and C. Chocolate and avocados are toxic to parrots. Go figure. And so with this, If you got it wrong, you had to move back 1 space. The Quelf effect of this is if prior to the beginning of your next turn, you can take a bite of any 2 items listed in this question and chew them up at the same time. You may double for your next dice roll. So let's say I only had some strawberries and pickles in my fridge. If I wanted to, I could get both of those and chew them at the same time. Now I'd be able to roll twice my next turn. It's up to you. There's no penalty if you don't do it, but if you do, you could get more ahead than everyone else. The next one is called STUNTZ, which will keep you on your toes, literally. It'll basically give you something that you have to do in front of the others. And so this one is the card is classified. With the other cards, you always have to read them out loud to everyone else. But if it says this card is classified, then you do not have to read it out loud. And so this one says, saying the words, "I am instantly captivating," and then put your head down on the table and do not move, laugh, or make a peep until you've been touched by another player. The first player to touch you may move ahead 3 spaces. If you move before being touched, pay the penalty of going back 3 spaces. And the Quelf effect of this, reveal and discard this card once you've been awakened. And then there's a little quote. Some of them in the Quelf effects don't have any like action rules or anything like that. And this one is like a little quote that says, "I am instantly going to burst you in the chaps" by Queen Spatula. So that's kind of fun to do. These are kind of like what the STUNTZ cards are. And then there's the purple one, which is SHOWBIZ. This one is basically where you get to act out what the card is telling you to do. And so this is a time card, meaning that you're going to have to use this when you start. And then you're going to flip it over and the sand will go. It usually lasts for about 2 minutes. And so, with SHOWBIZ, make up a dance. Name your dance, explain what your dance means to your opponents. Now set the timer and perform your dance. So, you get to make up a dance, like doing the floss or some interpretal piece for the full 2 minutes. If you don't, then you have to pay the penalty of going back 3 spaces. And this one just has a quote from, I like to call this one the spinning lug nut of doom. You may want to watch out for the elbows, from Mr. Lugnut. And so it's kind of funny. The last card that it has in this game is called SCATTERBRAINZ. This one is for everyone. The person that lands on the red space that picks this up gets to choose which category if there's more than one option. So in this one it says things typically found in the trunk of a car or things commonly dropped off a chairlift at a ski resort. So you get to choose one of those. So I would choose things typically found in a trunk of a car. I would probably say jumper cables. And we were going around in a circle constantly saying something that would be in the trunk of a car. If someone messes up or can't think of anything, says the same word again, or takes more than 10 seconds to say something, then they have to pay the penalty at the top, which is 2. So, whenever you're going, you get to keep on going around the board until you reach the end, and which is always going to be a scatterbrains. And if the person that is here that loses the scatterbrains, you would have to move back and then go again. So sometimes when it gets here, you can kind of team up with others if you're able to see if you can make them mess up or something like that. All right, so now that I explained the rules, I'm going to just do a little test run of how to do it. So take the dice. I got a 5, take my piece and move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I landed on red. So that would be scatterbrains. I'm gonna go back 1 to yellow so I don't have to do scatterbrains, so I don't have anyone else here. So my yellow stunt is, it's classified, so I wouldn't really read it to you guys, but since it's in the example, stuck your thumb in silence and start rolling the dice. When you roll a 3, shout, "Get off my land!" And the best chipmunk voice. So I wouldn't read this to you originally, but I would read it, set the card down, and then start sucking my thumb. Get off my land! Oh, it was supposed to be chipmunk voice. Yeah. Get off my land! See? And that's how you'd finish. And then, if you fail, like I kind of did, I didn't do it in a chipmunk voice, I would go back 3 spaces. So, it's kind of simple. Everyone else would go right after you, going to the left, and again, at the end of the game, you want to get to the middle and win this category's question. Some common questions that you kind of find is how many people can play. There's 8 characters, so only 8 people can. The minimal is about 3 people. Sometimes there's like little tiny details in the cards that some people want to see if they might be able to get around. You are able to show the card to others for them to see. You always have to read it out loud unless it is classified. If the person isn't able to complete the card due to some health issue or disability, then they are able to discard that one and choose something else that they would be able to do. But those are kind of the simple questions people have for me. Leave your questions in the comments below if you have any other questions, and thank you guys for watching.